Hey there, Cindy Daychuk with Queen Bee Creations, and you are here for Talk Tuesday, where weekly we share a business success life tip with you. And today's tip is especially for the women. And here we're going to talk about two phrases in particular that I want you to reduce your usage of. The first one is the phrase, I'm sorry. Now, I'm saying reduce your usage of this because it is perfectly okay to say I'm sorry when you are actually apologizing for something. Something that you've done, take responsibility for, say you're sorry. Perfectly okay. What we don't want to do is to use the phrase when we are not apologizing. So, someone else bumps into us and we say I'm sorry. In essence, we're assuming the responsibility for that. Sorry, I was in your way, right? It allows the other person to abdicate responsibility for their behaviors, their actions. And in this world where people are all too quick to push responsibility onto other people, to blame other people, you are inadvertently setting yourself up to be a scapegoat. In business, whether small business or big business, you don't want to be taking blame for things that are outside of your responsibility, your scope. So eliminating I'm sorry from those times where it wasn't our action, it wasn't our behavior. Even things like someone is speaking too fast, too slowly, to the wall, you can't hear them. Starting off by saying, I'm sorry, I can't hear you means, oh, I wasn't listening. I wasn't paying attention. It's my fault entirely. Instead, saying, excuse me, but I can't hear when you're speaking to the slide or the whiteboard, or excuse me, could you speak up a little louder? It's a little difficult for us to be able to hear you, is a more appropriate way. It's putting the responsibility back on the speaker in that case. Think about this. Catch yourself saying this phrase. Work at trying to reduce it to only those times where you want, need, and are willing to be taking the blame for something. The second phrase. It's a little bit different, but one that is equally as pervasive in women's language. And this is the phrase, no problem. You're going to catch yourself saying this often, which is when somebody makes a request of us and we say, sure, no problem. Now, I don't have any difficulty with your saying yes to people's requests. You're going out of your way to help individuals if you have the time, desire to do so. What I don't want is for you to diminish the contribution that you made to them. I don't want you to diminish your support to them. If you find that you get taken for granted a lot, that you go out of your way to do a lot for other people, listen for whether you're doing this phrase if those people are not recognizing the support that you're giving. Because when we accompany our willingness to help someone with no problem, they are going to believe that it was no problem. They are going to diminish the perceived value of the help and effort and support that you gave. And let's face it, it is never no problem. You are having to juggle other things on your schedule. You are working late to be able to accommodate their needs. You are putting something else in your life aside to make room for their request. That doesn't mean you say no. It doesn't mean that that's wrong, but it does mean that they have to recognize and value that contribution that you are making to them. You can say, yes, instead, you could say, yes, I could do that for you. Or, yes, I'll need to juggle a couple of things. Give me a day, and then I can take care of it for you. You could say, I'm sorry, I have an extremely full plate this week. Would next week be okay? I could fit it in then. Whatever works for you. Even a straight out, oh, I'm sorry, you know that I would love to help you out if I could, but I am slammed right now. You need to be able to get recognition for the help and the support that you get and not have people start to discount it. If you are constantly saying, yes, no problem, then you will find that person will dump more and more and more on you because they truly believe that it's no problem. You aren't getting recognized for the support that you're given. And as much as they seem selfish, you in essence are training them to take you for granted. It's a small way to take a small stand, but to start to gain the recognition that you deserve. We all have so many things that are on our plate already. Going out of your way to help somebody else, the least that they can do is to acknowledge and recognize that it was a problem. You did it anyway. Hit me up in the comments section with your thoughts about these phrases and perhaps other suggestions that you have for women, for phrases that they perhaps overuse but that diminish their perceived confidence and strength and value. I would benefit from that, as would any of the other listeners. So let's share. If you've got some ideas, I'd love to hear them. I'm Cindy Daychuk, Queen Bee Creations. I look forward to seeing you next week. Take care.